A lot of people believe that the series was retconned with the newest game. I understand that sentiment. You're in shock. Tears of the Kingdom is a lot to take in. These are all just legends anyway, right? That means the lore is all up for grabs. Who is the bargainer? What connections does the bargainer share with Hylia? Just how deep does this mystery go? I'm Moxie, and this is Heavy Speculation.
I can no longer sense the presence of the Mother Goddess statue which dwells in the vast canyon.
This place invites speculation. It begs for it. I had plans as soon as I booted up Tears of the Kingdom. I was going to ride a platform over with a Korok leaf all the way to the Forgotten Temple. Sadly, I only got so far. Plan B, avoid Lookout Landing and go straight for the Forgotten Temple. I forgot I had to descend a giant cliff with no paraglider.
It's Princess Zelda, she's safe. I bet that's not Princess Zelda.
So I learned my lesson and I finally grabbed the paraglider, and straight to Tanagar Canyon I went. Every moment was filled with anticipation for what could happen next. For some context, I looked at art book leaks almost right away, and assembled a very large, very clean map for all the spoiler channels on various Zelda discords. So when I uncovered this place, I felt like I hit the jackpot. Lorelian Historian jumped in a VC with me, Wiz Catches Lightning, and Banoon. He said that we should all really go to the Great Plateau and do a quest there. In fact, he insisted on it. At this point, I was obsessively exploring the depths, looking for any indication of linear mining facility. Lorelian coaxed me in when he said part of the quest is done in the depths. So, if you go to the Great Plateau where the front gate is, and you blow it open with a bomb, the water drains, revealing the original entrance. Under the water is this little fella. You might recognize him from Lookout Landing. If you haven't done this quest, I recommend pausing the video and doing it now. The entrance is drained and Link speaks to an oddly shaped deity.
You who hear my voice, come to me in the Temple of Time ruins, up the road on the plateau to the south.
The goddess statue in the Temple of Time. She isn't quite herself.
You who hear my voice, as a result of you draining the water from the gate, a part of me has been freed. You have earned my gratitude.
In Japanese, this reads a little differently.
Because you drained the water from the castle gate, a part of me has been released. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
To quote Lorelian directly here, anyone who says the plateau wasn't a castle must be reeling right now. Not only was it the original seat of Rauru and Sonia's Nascent, but the actual gate leading up to the plateau is a castle gate. So let's continue with the translations instead, shall we?
I am far below this land, talking to you by borrowing the form of this statue.
The fact that whoever is speaking to Link can borrow the goddess Hylia's statue is, well, unsettling to say the least. How are we supposed to take this? It's bizarre. And then a quest comes up.
A call from the depths.
To the one who hears my voice, I shall guide you to 4 chasms on this plateau.
This group of kanji means abysmal pit, chasm.
Around each of these should be my eyes. Drop these into the chasms.
I was shown the locations of 4 chasms.
Deliver them to me,
and told to throw the 4 eyes into the chasms.
to the land beneath this temple.
and carry them to the place beneath the Temple of Time.
Do this for me, and I shall give you a reward.
So the reason Lorilian wanted me to look into this so badly is that the statue is effectively taking over the goddess statue, which is, well, strange. Then I wander over to find one of these eyes, and I gotta say, they kind of remind me of Shikatek, but the thing that reminded me most about these eyes was the ceiling from the ice cavern in Ocarina of Time. Meanwhile, I'm racking my brain trying to remember if there are any four-eyed deities in the series. Once Link places all four of these eyes, the statue speaks.
Thank you for returning to me, my four eyes, the vessels of my spirit. Thanks to you, we can now speak. As promised, I will repay your kindness by bestowing good fortune upon you.
Then, the deity gives Link the choice between a stamina vessel and a heart container. The quest is now complete.
By throwing the four eyes nearby into the four chasms and carrying all the eyes to the voice, I was able to speak to the sealed stone statue.
You, who revived my spirit's four eyes, offer pose to me. Spirits that ought to return to the afterlife. They're pitiful beings who have lost their way home and wander this land. I'm the one who returns all pose to the afterlife without prejudice. Good, evil, that's the futile perspective of narrow-minded beings. There's no such distinction in wandering spirits.
The architecture of the Great Plateau. The Great Plateau Tower transmits a signal to the central control unit in Hyrule Castle, and then it transmits a signal to all the remaining Sheikah towers and shrines. All this information is in creating a champion, though I believe that Nintendo Black Crisis also did a video about it, and it's linked in the description below. The architecture of the Great Plateau is Hylian built, aside from the one or two Zonai pillars and the older cobbled together ruins in the Forest of Time. Some believed this place was once a castle, very closely resembling the layout of the long-lost castle town from Ocarina of Time. Heck, there was even water around the perimeter of the Great Plateau according to the map in the Forgotten Temple. But let's look at and compare the finer details. For instance, in Memory 6, the Gerudo Assault, Ganondorf is looking from here at the Great Plateau. He doesn't just look at the Great Plateau. The camera, lingers on it. It even zooms in. First off, the outer walls are pristine white stone. There's a torii gate between the rock formations. The climate is now cold. The climate was warm, and all the trees that were in the memory are actually not there. What is odd is that no matter which memory on the Great Plateau, almost all of the land and the architecture appears unchanged. But Hylian architecture completely replaces the Zonai architecture. Why would this be? The Hylian architecture does not appear in any of these cutscenes, so it's safe to assume that this style of architecture did not exist in this era. I thought maybe this is a Tibio's Hollow situation, and there's Zonai architecture revealed underneath, somewhere. I can report after thoroughly investigating the entire perimeter of this place over and over and over again. It is not hiding anywhere within the Hylian architecture. Why would the Hylians completely destroy and replace pieces of architecture? The only parts of the outer walls of the Great Plateau I could find is in the Dig Dog suspension bridge area. This seems correct, but why are they all piled over here? Why lift parts out of the Great Plateau to the sky? The outer walls would serve no purpose. Though, something to consider. This was something that was done in the real-world ancient eras, replacing architecture that is. The Romans used to completely demolish and rebuild cities they conquered. The Zonai people had perished according to Ganondorf. There is a difference between these two images. It's the shrines. There are shrines where the old Sheikah shrines once stood. I guess it would be the other way around. There were Sheikah shrines where the Zonai shrines once stood. Yeah. And now they are chasms. These could have been turned into free-floating stones, but that really wouldn't explain anything. I really cannot wrap my head around this location, and that's not even, like, I have a headache even just like reading the script, like I'm thinking, and it just like hurts. And that's not even brushing the surface about how weird this place gets. So, I have a bit of a theory.
Shadow and light are two sides of the same thing. Neither of them would be possible without the other.
To tell the truth, each of us was studying a different song. One to summon the sun, and another to summon the moon.
So, that brings us back to the matter of the bargainer. This is the first time that we meet the bargainer, but I don't think this is the first time that we've seen the bargainer. The only way that the bargainer can return Pose to the afterlife is by asking Link for his assistance. This deity proudly displays both faces in his father bargainer statue on the cliffside. These are labeled as demon statues, but let's consider this from another angle, shall we?
O youth, please,
And that brings us to the goddess statue.
please,
Praying to the goddess statue at the spring of power, courage, and wisdom reveals a quest.
devout swordsman who offers his prayers, hear my plea. I can no longer sense the presence of the mother goddess statue which dwells in the vast canyon. I would ask you to go to that land and bring tidings to me of the mother goddess statue. Please, please.
Tanagar Canyon was tied to the royal family so heavily during development that it was called the Valley of the Royal Family. Within this valley is the Forgotten Temple. This is also where the secret stones are kept. If you look at this location in the depths, everything clicks. The valley looks like a dragon. If Link goes to the oldest and largest goddess statue, then he will see she has been toppled.
My name is Lanayru. Because of you, we spirits of light have been able to revive here in Hyrule once more. O divinely chosen hero, you seek a black power.
Our world is one of balance. Just as there is light to drive away darkness, so too is there benevolence to banish evil.
It sleeps within the temple at the bottom of Lake Hylia.
Hylia herself would abandon her divine body, and her soul would be reincarnated as a human.
However, you mustn't ever forget this. It was by the order of the gods that was sealed away that forbidden power. When the world was naught but chaos, the gods descended and established life and order. And then, after bestowing power equally to everyone, they returned to the heavens. The ground where the gods first descended came to be known as a sacred land. The world knew peace for a very long time because of the hearts of the faithful.
I am far below this land, talking to you by borrowing the form of this statue.
However, Eventually, a rivalry occurred in Hyrule, the sacred land.
Hylia decided to use the inheritance of the ancient gods to annihilate the destroyer.
I am the one whose 4 eyes were taken from me and sealed away long ago.
The Bargainer, Hylia, the Forgotten Temple, the Secret Stones.
Amidst the people, there appeared those who excelled at sorcery. They tried to govern the sacred land with their powerful magic.
It's said that they were born from a union with the Gods clan.
How were these secret stones made?
We must stop the destroyer from getting out of the seal, no matter what it takes.
However, the gods dispatched us spirits of light. We managed to seal away their enormous magic. And it's that magic, that black power, that is the fused stone of shadow. O divinely chosen hero, please take care. You should know that those possessing such a dangerous power will, before long, be ruled by it. You mustn't forget that.
All seems so convoluted until I saw Zelda is a light dragon that creates tears, and the secret stones are kept here. Why are they referred to as secret? The secret stones amplify the abilities of their wielder. I speculate that these stones were made by the stolen eyes of the Bargainer. Not one of the 3 goddesses, but the only god, the Kami-sama, the one god among the 3 goddesses. The vessels of his spirit cried these powerful stones, these Magatama. They are all blank stones until the person touches it. It amplifies each person's Tamashii.
Good, evil, that's the futile perspective of narrow-minded beings.
This is why Ganondorf is able to wield one and become the Demon King. What is even more strange is that when the sages in each region get their secret stone, they get this incredible power to project their auras. Just like what is depicted in Lineru's warning to Link. Ganondorf is able to project his aura, and we call these Phantom Ganons. These also look like the vows the sages give. The magic staff was made by an ancient magician who awoke the latent power of gems. The stones amplify the power of the bearer, right?
Offer pose to me.
This deity is introduced to allow us to speculate on the meaning. Take all these details in. These will fuel our analysis and theories. If we're speculating on the backstory of the Bargainer's eyes, we can imagine a tale of ancient power and betrayal. Long ago, the Bargainer was a revered guardian of an ancient civilization or sacred place, entrusted with guiding Pose to the afterlife. His eyes were said to possess immense magical properties. However, a group of individuals, driven by greed and thirst for power, sought to harness the energy within the eyes for their own dark purposes. They devised a cunning plan to steal the eyes from the Bargainer. Through a treacherous act of deception or ambush, these thieves managed to incapacitate the Bargainer, extracting the eyes that housed the secret stones. This act of betrayal left the Bargainer weakened, vulnerable, and sealed away, while the thieves reveled in their newfound source of power, extracting the secret stones from the eyes of the Bargainer. This perhaps could be why the Sheikah adopted the depiction of the crest, because the Sheikah were the ones to perform this betrayal on the Bargainer. The secret stones, shaped like tears, were carefully extracted from the Bargainer's eyes, causing immense pain and suffering to the Guardian. The thieves, with the stolen eyes in their possession, set out to exploit the magical properties to use against the Demon King. Meanwhile, the bargainer, stripped of their eyes and the secret stones, was sealed away in the depths, a hidden realm where their voice echoed in desperation. I believe Hylia sacrificed her divine form to acquire the eyes, make the secret stones, and reincarnate to be able to use that power. Her plan was to reincarnate, right? Taking the eyes from the person who literally returns souls to the afterlife would ensure that she could do that over and over again. It would allow her to devise a plan. She did this all to protect the people and not thinking about how it could have serious consequences. I also believe that this is how Demise came to be. Demise's anger and resentment may not have been unwarranted. He has a gash on his forehead. Demise may be the wrath after the war between them over his eyes. These tears give the ones who wield them the power to literally project their aura. A dark power in the wrong hands.
The Demon King will absorb the spirit of the goddess.
O youth, guided by the servant of the goddess,
That forbidden power.
unite earth and sky and bring light to the land.
You mustn't ever forget this.
Please.
Look, I know these ideas are crackpot, but it's on brand. Who really knows everything that's going on anyway? Like, there are so many ideas being thrown around. And I don't even think any of us really knows what's going on. We can definitely figure it out together though. Mull it over in the comments, let me know your thoughts. I'm throwing a lot of speculation on the board, but that's just to see what sticks, you know? Trying to make sense of this enormous mystery. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your ongoing enormous support. Remember to subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one.